The average human lifespan is 4,000 weeks. We spend 520 of those here, preparing for 208 weeks here, preparing for another 208 weeks here. Here, in class, of course. All to prepare for 1,980 weeks here. Then, we're done, with about 1,000 weeks left to live. That's 2,916 weeks of preparing and 1,084 weeks of living, if you're lucky. I don't know about you, but I don't quite like that trade. That's one of the reasons why I taught myself about financial independence, a school of thought centered around retiring early and escaping the rat race. As someone succinctly said, I do not dream of labor. But what if this philosophy comes with its own costs that potentially outweigh the benefits? What if, in following this philosophy, I've been living my life wrong? You see, when I imagine myself living freely, it looks a lot like this. Cold steel, the smell of fresh split wood. That's my kind of labor. And these are its fruits. But there's a big problem here, aside from the self-indulgent nature of these visions. Deeply embedded within the human psyche, there exists a phantom which corrupts our perception of reality. And that is no more clearly apparent than when we look at the concept of the journey and the destination. When I perceive myself on this hero's journey towards the promised land of financial independence, I discount the fact that I am already experiencing that promised land. Will my axe head strike any differently when I have $1 million? Will the water enveloping my body feel any more refreshing? Or asked another way, more clearly, when we are a child, are we nothing more than a future adult? I've been tormenting myself over this and thought perhaps it's time to quit. Money can't buy everything. Money can't make you a king. Money may not bring success, money can't buy happiness, but of one thing I am sure, money doesn't make you poor, money doesn't make you sad, money can't be all that bad. Man, I suck at singing. The answer, and in a sense, the tragedy of life is that we seek to understand the goal and not the man. These were the words written by the legendary pen of Hunter S. Thompson to his friend Hume Logan at the age of 22. This single sentence pierces my heart. My whole life, I've been chasing what I thought was the goal, not a goal, the goal. The problem was, this goal was anamorphic, meaning that depending on the stage of life you were looking at the goal, it changes like a Renaissance painting. Do you remember what you said you wanted to be when you were a child? Apparently, I wanted to be a police officer, according to an old school assignment. I can safely say that idea repulses me now. So, I think Hunter S. Thompson is correct in that we make the mistake of pursuing this ever-changing goal instead of the pursuit of self-realization. We make the mistake of asking a child, "What do you want to be?" instead of, "Who are you?" And in the same way, I believe I have confused the pursuit of financial independence with the pursuit of myself. In the classic interpretation of the hero's journey, the hero eventually enters the darkest stage, typically characterized as the monster's lair or the underworld. It is at this point in which they undergo a process of death and rebirth, sometimes literal, often metaphorical. But the end result always is, they have achieved some type of realization, something with which they are to return home with. While I'm hesitant to suggest my perspective shift warrants a comparison to this dramatic event, I do think every single one of us is cyclically experiencing a hero's journey every day, every year, and across our lifetimes. And so I do believe a part of me has died, in a sense, the part that viewed financial independence as my North Star. Now I see financial independence for what it is, one of the swords at my hip. I can hone it over time, I can make it more powerful, and I can use it to fend off many of the monsters in the woods. It is an immensely valuable tool, one which I will continue to treasure and share the knowledge of with others. But it is not who I am. It is not my purpose. I can see that clearly now. I know what my purpose is. And with this sword at my hip, I will return home in the metaphorical sense and seek to live a life in accordance with it. No doubt stumbling, failing, and getting lost along the way. But I will relish every scraped knee, embrace defeat no less than victory, and mark my favorite words, "I don't know." For I am a child, I am a man, I am alive, and I am dead. As the classic Hindu compilation of the Upanishads would say, "Thou art that." The breath of life has exhaled these things into certainty. All that's left is for me to experience the inhale.